Call this meeting. Here we go. We appreciate you being here for the regularly scheduled meeting of the Board of Directors of Sacramento Metropolitan Fire District, slated for Thursday, October 10th, 2024. For those of you interested in watching these proceedings at a later date, you can look at the front of the agenda that's posted to the public, and it will give you all the additional details of how you can access the recordings of this event. With that, we'll call this meeting to order, and Madam Clerk, will you please call the roll?
Yes, good evening. Director Sailors.
Present.
Director Weber.
Here.
Director Sheets. President Gould.
Present.
Director Wood.
Present.
Director Rice.
Present.
Director Jones.
Here.
Director Costa.
Here.
Director Clark.
Present.
Thank you. All members are present.
Thank you very much. This evening, we'll start as we always do at the pledge of the flag. Director Sheets, will you please lead us? Pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all. Thank you, ma'am. Appreciate that. We'll move on in this in the arena. We'll have an opportunity for public opportunity to discuss matters on and not on the agenda. Madam Clerk, do we have any speaker cards?
We do. We have one speaker card from Roger Mitchell.
Mr. Mitchell, welcome. Good evening.
Mic on? Thank
There we
you.
go.
I've stood before you in the last couple months to advertise our fundraising dinner for the restoration of Rio Linda's second fire engine. So tonight I'm here to report how that fundraising went.
Very good.
The chief was on a plane ride on the way home, so he had asked Chief Mitchell to stand in for him. Did a fabulous job, I might add. And I would ask, but I don't see him in the audience, so I might ask the chief when he gives his report this evening. I think he received a report from Chief Mitchell. He might be able to say a few words. But the chief spoke about how Sue Frost had been a help to this fire district in many ways and a help to this restoration in many ways. So he was well-spoken, and I can tell you now that this district now has 2 world-class speakers. And I would tell you that anyone from this district that speaks in the future will certainly be a world-class speaker. Something you need to know, we had help from many, many of your employees at this dinner. Our main cook is Mr. Scott Courtney. He's a retired Metro Fire Master Mechanic, and he comes from out of state to do this event with us. Next to Ken in the kitchen, second in command, is Mr. Dennis Berry. He is a reserve with this district, and Scott and Dennis have worked for at least the last 10 years in that kitchen. Mr. Mark Siebert, the person that is the head of your logistics center. Mark was there for 12 hours with 2 people that he brought. Those people were Mr. Noel Wilson, a reserve firefighter, and Mr. Sergio Rodriguez, a reserve firefighter. These people they just worked their tails off to make this event. So we appreciate all their help. Jill Guzman, she makes this event also. There's times where I'll call over and she'll answer my questions, and she'll call me and say, so-and-so wants to talk to you, call this person. She's just a wonderful lady that can make everything tick in this fire district. On a lighter note, and I think this was fun. We have an organization that are called the Keystone Cops, and they're an organization, a side order from the Masonic Order. One of them is a dear friend of mine. So they set up a little jail, and they charge $5 to put somebody in jail and $10 for someone to pay the bail to get them out. Well, this young lady stepped up with a $5 bill and put her father in jail. And her father happened to be Director Ted Woods. So I was standing there when another young lady stepped up with a $10 bill to bail him out. That was Director Sailors. And I happened to be there. So what I did was I said, you know, this lady's a director for Metro Fire, so she needs to pay $20 to get this director. And she stepped up and paid $20 to get Director Woods out of jail. So with that, it was a wonderful evening. One of the most successful we've had. A special thanks to a dear friend of mine on this board. Thank you, Director Rice. for your donation. You and I have spent a lot of time working together on the line, and you have supported this project from day one. Not that the rest of the directors haven't or this district hasn't, but you as a special person, because we've worked hand in hand. So thank you for that very much. And with that being said, I would entertain answering any questions you might have.
Anybody have questions for Mr. Mitchell? Go ahead, Ted.
Roger, thanks so much for all you do. It was a great event, and I just want to say thank you for recognizing the people from our organization that have helped you out. Our people don't always get their names called out, and they put an awful lot of work in and
It's-
do an awful lot of good for our community. So thank you for recognizing it.
It's very important to do that, Director, that a fundraiser like this needs lots of help. And these people step up every year to help us. And I've always said their names need to be called out. There's sometimes I'm not always successful in remembering those. But yeah, this district, not only these gentlemen that I named tonight, but the district as a whole has stepped up. And we've had many people this year asking for the tickets, and they asked for two things. Gee, do we have that same cook that's cooking that barbecue meal? Well, he's retired from this district. That says a lot for this district. The next thing they'll say is the auctioneer going to be there? The auctioneer is a dear friend of mine. He's done that his whole life, and he puts on a good show. So with that, thank you. Any other questions I might answer?
Any other questions? Two things. I think
sir.
next year we should probably look at having some kind of a testing for the barbecue that's going to happen to make sure that it's appropriate if we're going to have our names associated. So maybe one of the nights that we have a meeting, we could do some kind of taste testing for the benefit of your chef. The second thing is we need to check with Director Sailors and her mental acuity for Balin. What's that about? So anyway, thank you.
They took her 20. They also took my 10. So they got $30 to get me.
Wow.
I would tell you the idea of a tasting would be wonderful. The tickets for the event are 25. I think testings might be twice that cost.
Sure.
But for each director, but we'd be happy to perform that. So.
And you do have Keystone Cops there. So this thievery that you're proposing?
Yeah, I think we
Okay.
could arrange whatever the board would like to see
Appreciate it.
that.
Thank you
Thank
very
you.
much for that.
Thank you.
Do we have anyone online that would like to comment publicly?
Attendees online, if anybody would like to address the board, please raise your hand. I'll give the opportunity to talk. No response.
Okay, thank you very much. That closes our public opportunity to discuss matters. We'll move on to consent. I'll entertain a motion for consent.
Mr. Chair, I so move.
Thank you.
I'll second.
A second and a third. Madam Clerk, please call the roll.
Director Sailors,
Aye.
Director Weber,
Aye.
Director Sheets, President Gould,
Aye.
Director Wood,
Aye.
Director Rice,
Aye.
Director Jones,
Aye.
Director Costa,
Aye.
Director Clark.
Aye.
Thank you. Motion passes. The consent calendar is adopted.
Thank you very much. Moving on to presentation items. Director Weber, you're up for the ad hoc committee.
Thank you. Going to switch to guns here. First and foremost, the reason work comp even exists is a little background on this is employers and employees got together many, many years ago, and they negotiated a deal that the employee would not sue the employer, and the employer would therefore take care of the members. That's how work comp came to be. So a little bit background there. Secondly, everything that has been done in the ad hoc has been done by others, not myself. I'll take a phrase from a good friend of mine, Pete Votava. I'm an idea guy, and I probably plagiarized a lot of that. So pre-ad hoc, we gave the chief a resolution to approve 13 automatics. So no utilization reviews, automatically gets treatment, and they're on the fast track to being taking care of our members. Secondly, we brought on Intercare as our TPA. So those two things before ad hoc was even started really ramped up and turned work comp, how, as we knew it, 180 degrees. So we're already on the fast track to that. Thank you, Chief, for doing those things as well. So when we established ad hoc, our goals and objectives for the committee were educating members of Metro Fire via a guidebook. And I'll touch on that in just a minute. Develop a process that enables transparency and advocacy for the members, convey consistent messaging from HR, labor management, Intercare, Ready Rebound, ensure HR, Intercare, Ready Rebound are assessing, treating, and returning members back to work as quickly as possible, reducing backfill hours, and when questions arise, members and their families are responded to in a timely manner. Potentially accepting all presumptives, that is something that is in the works, and then speak to other agencies to see how they may be handling work comp and how we can copy them. So that's what the goals were for the team that we have in ad hoc. So I feel ad hoc has accomplished exceptional work in 2024. So what have we done? So we've accomplished in collaboration with the board and the chief, created a guidebook, educate our members. And I found out today that it goes live tomorrow. So it goes live tomorrow. And this has been a huge, huge process, but it's really going to help out the membership and their families to understand A to Z on work comp and how to get through this complicated process. We brought a new approach for caring to our members. We brought an approach to the professional athlete model, bringing Ready Rebound on board, and that is also an update coming at a later time to see where we are on that. Ready Rebound presented to the ad hoc a while ago, and on the spot, it was approved by the chief without any budgetary impacts whatsoever. Matter of fact, the chief negotiated a deal with Ready Rebound that it's a money back guarantee for us. So it's a no-brainer. We can get into what Ready Rebound is if you're not familiar, but it's a very in-depth program to get our folks treated immediately, get them back to work as quickly and safely as possible, which everybody wants, seats and the individuals as well. And then the last piece of the pie is the acceptance of all presumptives. It was also brought to ad hoc a few meetings ago, and there's still work to be done on that program, but the fire chief, he has plans to, he has a team in place, I would imagine at this point, but at some point, they are going to a sister brother agency and collect the data that they have on accepting all presumptive. So that's in the works too. So we'll update that at a later time as well. So I would like to thank some folks. And before I do that, remember this little jingle, no, 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 and Doug. Because every time you say Doug, that's Mike, okay? Because Chief Johnson, I don't have him in here, but he was very integral in all of these ad hoc meetings midway to present. So for unwavering support to all members of Metro Fire, listening to the committee and implementing these programs. Not only for, I missed one. There it is. Bear with me. Oh, it's not even highlighted. So Chief House and the board, thank you for your unwavering support for all the members of Metro Fire, for listening to the committee and then implementing these programs. There's a lot of back work that happens with the chief and his team and his staff. We don't see that, but he does a lot. They do a lot of things. And it's apparent when we ask them to implement a program, it's usually done without a hiccup, question, any of that. And to HR, Melissa and Candace, not only for the education piece, which is, like I said, a giant, giant body of work, but every aspect of this committee, without your participation, I am positive we would not have been successful at all. So thank you both very, very much for that. To Intercare for their participation in ad hoc, they've been extremely helpful in navigating with these other parties, these programs and implementing or looking to implement other programs that we have. So Intercare's, they've been a great source of information in questioning these other agent, or not agencies, but programs. So without them, I don't know if we'd be in the spot we are either. So Coach Gallagher and Chief Lozano for their passion and vision and all the other information like the Ready Rebound. Also, this would not be here if you hadn't hit me in the parking lot one day. And so thank you for digging your heels in and not letting go of that because it's finally on board. So thank you. And then 522, specifically Sean, but Pete, you've been in a couple meetings as well. For everything he and his team has done to continue to do for the members of Metro Fire and the thought-provoking information that he brings to every meeting. We have great dialogue in these meetings because of Sean and Intercare and Candace and Melissa. Again, I'm a talking head. I'm not kidding. I'm not joking at all. Everybody else in that room has done 100% of this work. So every individual brought invaluable information to the ad hoc, and for them and their valued conversation, commitment, and to this committee and to the members of Metro Fire, I deeply thank you all. So that is my update.
Thank you very much. So I want to thank you, Bob, for taking the lead and Cindy for participating in this committee. I think it's a good model that Metro Fire can replicate when we have other big issues. If you flash back 10 months ago, there was a different feeling in the room about where our organization was with workers' comp, and it was impacting the men and women of our organization that we asked to go out every single day and do things flawlessly and do those things right. And we were struggling to do it right within our own home. And so thank you for your leadership. I know you're being very humble to say that you had nothing to do with it. I don't agree, because it does take someone that's willing to bring those folks into the room and keep it moving forward. And I'm very thankful that you took that responsibility seriously, and both of you have done a nice job in keeping that on there. Appreciate all the work that everyone's done. I challenged Bob the other day to make sure that we did I think a reasonable job in identifying all the people from the various perspectives who were involved in this ad hoc committee. And I think it's safe to say that now, 10 months later, we're in a completely different place that we were in workers' comp with the leadership, Bob, that you and Cindy showed. And so I just want to say thank you for all the work that you continue to do. And I hope that in the coming years, when we have other issues, we can look at this model and say maybe the ad hoc model that we can use as electeds will help. And so again, congratulations to all of you that participated. Just a guidebook alone, I know, was quite a lift, and it's going to be published in a day or so. That's quite an event. So thank you for that. Appreciate your report tonight. I would humbly ask that the next item on this agenda lasts no longer than about 35 seconds. And so the next item on the agenda, you can read it. I'm not even going to announce it. Chief.
Well, good evening, directors, members of the public, colleagues. I'm going to carry on first with one thing. We talked about humility. Bob, Director Weber, thank you for taking the lead on that. You did a lot of work that was unnoticed. Director Sailors, thank you. But words that come to mind that you used, sacrifice, passion, commitment, drive, servant leadership. 25 years in any organization is a milestone that should be recognized. So I'm proud, once again, to recognize a member, a brother, a family member of this organization that shows all those quality traits that we just talked about in the ad hoc. It's a reflection of all of us as public servants and what we do to care for each other and the public we serve. And it's not taken lightly. So a great evening to recognize 25 years of service. For a man, Director Gould serves the citizens of Division 2, representing his constituents in Citrus Heights, Carmichael, Foothill Farms. He serves on the City of Citrus Heights 2x2 Committee. Appointed in 1999 as a board member of the Sacramento County Fire Protection District. Elected to the board of the newly created Sacramento Metropolitan Fire District in 2000. Look at your patch on your shoulder. Ever since our inception.
Chief, 25 seconds has been.
I'm usually good at compromising with you, sir. Tonight it's about you in the spotlight a little bit. I refuse that directive. He has served 25 years concurrently and currently serves as the president of this board. Professor of pre-hospital emergency medicine for over 30 years. Department chair and program director of emergency medical services education at American River College. How many members have you touched of this organization? Countless, countless. What you've done, sir, is saved lives. Possesses a master's degree in public administration and a doctorate in education from the University of San Francisco. I am humbled and honored to present this pin in recognition of 25 years of service to our community and all of us here at Metro Fire. Thank you.
You want one with them?
Yes.
Yeah, have them, get back down there so they come.
Oh, yes, absolutely.
By the way, this is my daughter McKenna and her husband. And we're celebrating the culture of Fiji tonight, if you don't get that.
Oh, I love that. Yeah, yeah.
That's a good fly. You can't see my mirrors, I can't see you. Okay, I know that extended it, but you needed them in.
Yeah, right. That was a great call. Thanks for that. Okay. We're glad to be done with that. Let's move on to reports. I have no report tonight except to be just to basically offer my thanks for the fellowship of my colleagues here tonight. As we wind down this year, we will miss Director Sheets, who will be leaving us at the end of the year. We have some things that we'll be doing for that in our next meeting. But basically, just want to tell you how grateful I am that I get to spend a couple of hours every couple of weeks to be around some of the brightest people I know who make really great decisions for the public first, and then for the men and women who every day go out and provide a service that's so critical in our community. So I'm humbled by another one of these pins and by the friendships that I have. As many of you know that about 15 years ago, I lost my son. And we will never forget the morning after his passing. My father came to our room and said that there were some people out front in uniform. My wife and I were still in shock. And I thought it was the police, and following up to that tragedy. And there was 3 individuals dressed in uniform representing this organization. You have no idea what that meant to my bride and I in our darkest hour, to know that we had become part of this family. And those folks stayed with us for 10 days. They never had us make a decision. They were there in our darkest moments to lift us up. We'll be forever grateful for not only those individuals, but this organization. And so you want to know why somebody would spend 25 years doing this crazy job? It's because we have an irreparable, irreplaceable, we can't make do on the debt that we have for this organization and what it did for us on a hard day. So I'll continue until my health gives out, or the public says they've had enough of me, or frankly, these folks have had enough of me. But we'll be forever grateful. And that's what drives me. My wife and I have this conversation because there's been, all of us sacrificed a great deal of our lives to participate with all of you in this leadership role. And we'll never be able to repay it, ever, no matter how many years I serve. And so thank you. Appreciate it. It's a great ride. It continues to be a great ride. And I've ridden on some of the best rides in the world. And this is better than that. But I'm humbled to know each and every one of you. I think about that new employee who just steps into the circle of Metro Fire. And just, I wish I could grab them and say, do you realize what the next 25 years of your life is going to be like in this family? Hold on. But thank you very much for this. Appreciate it. That ends my report tonight. I don't think I can do anything more. I'll get in trouble. With that, Fire Chief, you're up.
Absolutely. And I'm going to carry on with what you just said because I'm going to introduce a brand new employee to you.
Outstanding. I hope they're here.
They are here. And I've already been impressed with her composure, her enthusiasm. I've heard it from all of the HR staff. They're super thrilled and excited. So it gives me a ton of pride to introduce and welcome up to the podium. I know they don't like doing this, but this is something we started and we're going to continue to do because I think it's really important that the public sees, but all of our members see, and you all see new employees. And this is Angela Lewis. She was hired for the position of Workers' Compensation Coordinator, which along with not coroner,
Kind of an interesting faux pas.
Cordova High English. Yeah. With a new position that was in line with the ad hoc and where we're going with health and wellness. So Angela, I couldn't be more excited to have you on board and look to where you're going to go with our agency in the future, and welcome to this family.
Thank you.
Your turn.
Oh boy, here I go. All right. Hi, everyone. I'm Angela Lewis. I've been in the insurance industry since 2008 and stepped into a work comp role back in 2011. Held a variety of roles. I was an adjuster for many years, and then I led a team of several adjusters as a manager for another 4 years. And then I stepped into a role as a client service director, overseeing the overall operations of insurance programs within a third-party administrator. So I bring a unique experience. I've seen all sides of the insurance administration process. I am a little crazy for being here because I am also married to a member of the fire service. My husband's an engineer at a department in a neighboring county. So I do bring a little bit of cultural knowledge, and I know some of the difficulties that arise from their scheduling, the types of injuries they see, going back to work, being willing to seek treatment in the first place. My husband had a claim himself. I know how difficult it is to get them to listen sometimes, and how difficult it is to seek treatment with professionals that understand the culture and the responsibility of fire service as well. So when I say I'm honored to be here, I truly am. The health and wellness of firefighters on the line, retirees, all the above is very near and dear to my heart. So when I saw this position, I was so excited to apply and even more excited to get offered the role here. It truly speaks to my heart to be here and bring my knowledge and expertise in this profession to the members of this department. So very happy to join the Metro family.
Any questions for this new employee? Bob? Oh, no.
I do have a comment.
Okay.
I am very, very, very excited to have you on board to make this team even stronger than we are. You heard in my comments, we've turned this around drastically. So you being on this team, it just brings a whole new layer of understanding and compassion to all of our employees. So thank you very, very much for accepting this position. I'm very excited to have you here.
Thank you.
I had the wonderful opportunity of meeting this young lady the other day when I was here in the facility, and she really struggles to have a personality. She's really working on that part of it. Really great engagements. And what she said here at the dais is exactly how she interacted with me. She is truly going to be a wonderful asset for this organization. Welcome. And I hope you stick around for 25 too.
You know it.
Chief?
Great. Thank you and welcome again.
Thank you.
All right, as we continue along with wellness, Roger Mitchell, you are correct. I missed your event. I was saddened that I couldn't get bailed out this year. The passover from Chief Mitchell was he was honored to do it, but also the event was successful at raising the funds. Obviously, you need more funds and continue to need funds, but it was successful and the auction was great as always. I missed that I couldn't buy some more stuff for my shop, but thank you for always the invitation, and we're here to assist it anyway. Where I was flying back from Washington DC at a conference that, once again, I think you heard about Chief Rice and I from Chief Mitchell, that we were at a conference in Chicago that the fire service has never been to. Where I was the following week was in DC to another conference that the fire service has never been involved with by some of our relationships that we built at Cap to Cap. So with member health and wellness as a top priority of all of ours, peer support program manager Captain Manfredi, Coach Gallagher, and I attended last week's annual Fire Service Psychology Association conference in Washington, D.C. This was the first time that Metro Fire has attended this conference, and this was primarily attributed to a personal invite I received from DC's fire chief, Chief John Donnelly. He reached out and gave a personal invitation based on our relationships back at Cap to Cap. And I want to acknowledge Adam Mitchell, Director Gold, Director Sheets, Director Jones on our last attendance, and also Jeff Fry. Thank you very much, sir, for continue those relationships and building those. And Director Clark. We had the best time together. I won't go into the best time we had, but yes.
Name. Something happened there.
Yeah. He was thinking I was going to talk that long about him also. Not only was this the first time that we really got to embed ourselves to psychologists from a conference level. We were the only fire department west of Texas there. It was DC. It was a small department in Texas, and us were the only fire departments represented at this conference. The level of engagement and conversation that we're able to have was unremarkable on both parties. We were able to enlighten them on our needs, but they were also, with their expertise, able to educate us on how we should go forward with even making a selection for, as you know, some of our next steps in our program here. And Captain Manfredi obviously has been doing this a long time on the heels of Jeff Wells. He was able to get significant takebacks from this conference. Oftentimes we go to conference and we're looking at, what did we get from this class or not? And I remind our members often, sometimes we go back and just realize that we're doing a lot of things right. That's a good place to be. This was unlike that experience at some of our other previous conferences. This was really true networking, but also an education for both parties. And I think we're going to make the fire service a lot better collectively. And I do want to comment on the previous conference we were at, where I was with President of CPF, Rice. That's what his title was when I was attending with him, that Chief Mitchell advised you of last board meeting. That conference also, we were the only fire department at that conference by invitation only. When you meet with hospital executives, manufacturers, the scientists who are developing kits to do presumptive testing or pre-screening testing, and they're looking at us for our needs, and we're able to present where we go forward with that. I look forward to the California Cancer Task Force that they're looking at assisting, or if not fully funding. We're going to be a part of that. Relationships, but also being courageous enough to take a leap forward and do things that we haven't done before in the fire service. Humility goes a long way. So that's where I was, Roger. Sorry to miss your event. The conference really served as a huge networking opportunity, and Ryan Manfredi, our peer support coordinator, has some direct connections now to where he's going to advance our program there. And as you know, I moved peer support out of the office of the fire chief underneath our new division in wellness, underneath Chief Peck. So I'm looking forward to where we go with that. And then on Monday, October 7th, several members of us attended and participated on the Fallen Brothers statue replacement event for the new memorial site at Capitol Park. It was a humbling event, honorable. It was remarkable for us to move some of the statues that we have been securing for CPF from logistics that every day I went to get fuel, I was nervous about hoping to see every day. But replacing it with a new statue and that degree of really providing a sense of closure for the families. It's going to be everlasting. So thanks to all that's involved with that, where we go in the future. And we were invited and included in not only just attending, but being part of that event. And then as a reminder, on top of that, to close out for tonight, for me anyway, is the Capitol Firefighter Memorial Ceremony is held Saturday, this Saturday, October 12th at 3 p.m. at the Safe Credit Union Convention Center. And we are putting retired Captain Robert Bob, as we all know him, Bruce, on the wall. He will be honored. So we will be adding his name to the wall, and we will have a robust turnout again like last year. I've got commitments from CPF this year that they're not going to turn any of our rigs around because we overwhelmed them. We are dropping down to our full capabilities of drawdown in order to show respect and honor for our lost brothers and sisters. So we will have great representation down there. We're taking the lead with Air Operations is flying over as the lead bird also. So that's the end of my report unless you have any questions for me.
Any questions for the chief? Thank you very much. All right, I know that the names of the players on the next couple of reports are constantly changing. I'm just going to ask for the individual that's still assigned to come up on our operations report. Chief, if you'll come up. And let me just make sure Captain Schollard, I don't see him in the audience. So I'm just going to call reports. Who's supposed to be giving it? Come on up, introduce yourself, and then we'll go from there.
I can clean it up for you too a little bit as they come up. Captain or Assistant
Yeah.
out of class Assistant Chief today, Joe Aldridge.
All right, you stole the first part of my presentation here. Oh, man. Now I have to adapt. Good evening, directors, Chief House, Metro members of the public. Joe Aldrich, working upgrade shift commander today for C shift. I have the honor to introduce and highlight not only one of our special operations programs, but a very distinguished crew here from 61 on C shift, where I used to work along with Chief Barbie Law over there was my captain back in the day. So I'm going to let firefighter Jeff Kiefer come up and give you some highlights of our UAV program. And we're also going to give you a little demonstration.
Oh,
So actually first, this is firefighter Kiefer, firefighter Schaefer, firefighter Hauser, and Captain Morris from 61 C shift. You're up, buddy.
Good evening, everyone. As you heard from Chief Aldrich, my name is Jeff Kiefer, currently assigned to Station 61 on the squad. These guys are my coworkers there at the station, and we're all involved in the UAV program. I'll just kind of give you a short overview. The UAV program was implemented at Metro Fire a while back with certified drone pilots. However, it was kind of hard for them to respond as the pilots were assigned to their respective apparatus, and taking a fire apparatus out of service was not really warranted at the time. However, the program manager for this UAV program implemented the UAV at Squad 61 so that we were able to respond to incidents, but also leave a fire apparatus in service. I'm not a program manager. I can't tell you any future updates of the program, but I can tell you the benefits and successes that we've experienced throughout the time there. Some benefits of it are we're a 24-hour service to the community, which benefits them in the sense that if a copter is unable to respond, that we can respond, especially at night. And we do respond to multiple incidents, usually as needed, but most of the time it's vegetation fires, structure fires, commercial fires, and then water rescues. We're also somewhat centrally located, so it'll make us more available with quicker response times. With that 24-hour service, we do have a live link available for people, mostly chiefs, to click on and get a live video stream of the incident that we're on. We also do have tablets provided that we can hand to the incident commander on incidents, so they can kind of have eyes in the sky and not really rely on radio traffic especially when there's a lot of it. And they can kind of see what's going on the incident themselves. Is it set up? Yeah, so we're going to give you guys a live demonstration of like what it actually looks like. Before that happens though, some of the successes that I've had, especially on vegetation fires when we've been requested, once we're up, we can record anything that the IC requests and then hand them the SD card after if there's anything like an ongoing investigation, or if they just want to make sure that all sides of the fire are covered and completely out. They don't have to walk the fire. We can scan the whole area while recording and hand them the USD card, and then report to other crews as something arises. Other than that, I know a few of my other coworkers that have shared their successes with me as far as water rescues, especially at night, because we do have a infrared option, which we can toggle back and forth with, specifically to fire or humans. So we've all been taught how to adjust those settings, and it has turned out to be quite beneficial. We've also gotten the word out to our neighboring departments, which has been nice. So we've been requested by, at least personally, me, have been requested by Folsom Fire and then Sac City Fire. Sac City was a commercial structure, and the chiefs, it was kind of new to them, the city chiefs, and they were kind of all about it because they didn't have to report over the radio or ask questions. They could just see everything they wanted, and they can direct us accordingly. And then Folsom, we went to a vegetation fire where the copter had to leave to go get fuel. So we got eyes in the sky. They got a good look at it, and we're able to deem the managed or the incident under control, and the copter didn't have to respond back. And these guys, I'm sure all have similar stories. But we would like to give you a presentation. Do one of you guys have the tablet with you?
It's
Is it
coming.
currently flying? Oh, perfect.
For the public, can you tell them what UAV stands for?
UAV, unmanned aerial vehicle. Yeah, I know. Everyone always asks that.
He didn't go to Rancho Cordova High School.
You say that everyone always
that-
asks that?
Well, because you say UAV, members of the public go, what's a UAV?
Right.
They always call it a drone, which we call it drones, but in public at work, we call it UAV. So yeah, I hope you guys were all able to get a good look at the drone footage.
Yeah,
The UAV
You want-
footage.
Tell us where it's coming from.
Do you guys have any questions for us about the program so far?
You're doing great. Go ahead, Bob.
So I take it you're a pilot, one of the pilots. How many pilots do you have?
Currently at our station, one just bid out. So we have myself on the squad, and then everyone assigned to the engine on C shift is a current pilot. So if for some reason the squad goes out of service, the engine is also available for UAV response. We do also have a visual observer sign off sheet that let's say someone comes in for a callback, or they just get to the station, but we're not setting up the class for them to become a pilot. They can take an in-house visual observer course, which will allow us to actually have more flying options at night. But it's nice for them to be a part of and to learn how to observe on incidents, any hazards that we as the pilots might not see.
What about A and B shift? Are there pilots on all three shifts?
Yep, all throughout 61.
That's all I want to know.
Okay.
Thank you.
All firefighters
Mhm.
on all the shifts.
Okay, we're ready. That's it?
That's
I thought
it.
You said there's gonna be some kind of I thought we were seeing one.
You're holding
Oh,
one.
that's what it was.
Did you
This
need?
tablet. Yeah, we saw it going back and forth. I thought you were gonna have one fly.
Oh, you want one right here?
That
Yeah.
was his original plan. I shut him down. You can't fly it.
You're fired.
I thought you were
Yeah.
flying one also.
Okay, all right. I thought something was gonna come in the room and you were kind of building it up and kind of,
Drive a hard bargain there, Mr. Gould.
yeah, right? It would be lovely to see that piece of apparatus because I really do think it's cutting edge technology that serves our organization in a big way. And, like you've just said, the different call outs. And I think it's important to understand he's sharing the fact that we're investing in these programs and other organizations in this community are benefiting in a major way. Just let that percolate and what that actually means to the citizens of this area in the next 40 days.
So
We are purchasing and supporting and training and having these resources available that ironically fly beyond our borders to serve the citizens of this greater region, which is a big deal. And Metro Fire continuously puts those things out there. Some of you are old enough to remember when instead of a UAV, we just simply had AVs. And we still have them, right? A couple of them painted big and red and white and make a lot of noise when they fly around, right? So this is like the baby sister to that. But very good. It would be really fun down the road, Chief, if we could see one of these.
They're coming up.
Oh, you had to land it? So we're just waiting. That's good, right?
Yeah.
Go ahead, Ted.
So I had the pleasure earlier this year going out to a controlled burn over here in Mather. And they brought the UAV out and put it up. And it was very interesting to watch the relationship between the UAV and the helicopter. They were setting their ceilings so that there was no problems. They had already got everything cleared through FAA because we were next to Mather, next to the airport base. And it was just wonderful to see up in the air. There was a section of the burn that had got away and things were starting to jump out.
Yeah.
And with the infrared, they were able to catch that on the tablet before anyone on the ground knew what was going on or where those things
Yeah.
were happening. So they were able to direct resources right where they needed them. It was phenomenal to watch.
For me, it's a big deal about safety of our men and women too, right? Is if you can have eyes in the skies and look down, just as Director Wood just mentioned. It's a massive, in my mind, a massive safety issue for all of you when you've got these brush fires and stuff that are running super fast. I think it's wonderful and I see they're really, I would just like my directors to see kind of what this thing is about. Cindy, go ahead.
Can you fly these things at nighttime?
We can.
Okay.
And we are currently, we do talk or communicate and train, not so much train all the time, but more so communicate with the copter as far as deconfliction goes.
Sure.
Because most of the time they're primarily going to be operational and will have to remain grounded. But sometimes, especially when the program manager is on the copter, he likes to make sure that we deconflict and get good at it
Sure.
in the event that we have to.
And these are very tactile learners, so the fact that you brought it in and they can touch it will bode well for you all in the next budget cycle. No, really, I mean, I think it's important. We see exactly what we're paying for, what the citizens are benefiting. Really looks cool. Chief, can we spin it up in the room? Are you okay with that? No, we're not gonna do that. Somebody make a command decision.
Great idea until it crashes.
Anyway,
No, I
that's the
have
thing
a
that was
question.
flying around tonight. but you were
That's
looking at
excellent,
it.
and it's
Good.
still warm and it's not too hot to touch. Now, a question about our
the-
UAV program,
Oh,
when you have a chance, is, don't we have various sizes of these, don't we? I thought I
do.
saw quite a large one at, out at McClellan.
So we do currently have different models and different sizes and all of them have different capabilities. This one, this one, we can't carry a load on it. They are currently working on one of the models to be able to carry a cache of equipment to ground crews that may not be near their apparatus. Yeah, and the loads are specific to the drone and I couldn't tell you what the limits are. But I'm sure when they do perfect that, we'll be able to know what they are capable of and if we're able to staff it.
Okay, y'all
Okay,
ready?
great. No,
This would be
no,
cool.
another question. Well, go ahead. I want to hear about what it takes to be a UAV operator.
We took a 3-day course with the program manager who is currently assigned to Station 61. So it's mostly just bookwork and knowledge of not only how it operates, but everything that we need to be aware of, such as weather, other area apparatus in the area, TFRs, which are temporary, of course, I'm drawing a blank, temporary flight restriction areas. So as long as it's red on the map and we're in it, we're more than likely not going to fly, but there's, certain numbers and channels we have to call through in order to get that permission. So do you guys have the tablet up there with you?
Now, this is sexy.
Do you guys
Right
have the
here.
tablet with you?
Come on, tell me we haven't upgraded this meeting. Can we get a helmet?
I want you guys to look at yourselves through the camera.
That's really cool. And who was that said this wasn't gonna be cool? We couldn't do it?
Yeah. I can tell you from the time we put the squad in park or the engine, it's probably maybe 2 minutes before we can get this UAV airborne. And I've noticed a big difference, at least out on the parkway, instead of having to hike around, maybe 1, 2, 3 square miles.
Yeah.
They can request us out and we can fly that area in a matter of, 5 minutes.
If I missed it, how much flying time per battery?
So it depends on the attachments. At night, we're gonna have more lights on it going off and different attachments, which will drain the battery a little faster. But if I were to guess the amount of time, we could probably be airborne for at least 20 to 30 minutes until we gotta land it, replace the battery, and then we'd be up again in like another 1 to 2 minutes.
Look at them all.
You can also show them on the controller if you want.
This is cool. Have you thought about like a fireworks show on the 4th of July next year? Or a couple hundred of them going around, and wouldn't that be cool?
There are safety limits.
Sorry.
There are safety limits too, in case it gets too close to you. Anything within 3 feet of the drone, it will automatically stop and it will not let us advance.
Right? So, it's pretty cool. Look at all these guys. Look at them sitting over there. Yeah. Huh? Touch it? No. No, I got this, man. I gotta get the 26. How you guys doing over there? Oh, he's gonna show it. He's gonna show it shutting down. Oh, yeah, cool. What am I doing? Oh, yeah.
Oh, that's.
That's pretty cool.
Yeah.
It was 3 days training.
They sell these things at Costco, right?
They sell those.
They're like
things.
500.
Same one.
They're all coming in. Look at this.
Yeah, I know, because these cost like 65 cents.
How come we don't have like a Metro Fire sticker on it in case it gets lost?
It's registered.
Oh, okay, good.
It's registered though, right?
We should sell space on that thing like NASCAR.
Yeah.
It's impressive. Look at how steady it is.
Watching it. They were able to spot all these little
Hot
jump.
Yeah.
Yeah, they were able to spot these, and they were, 10 yards apart.
This right here just proves my theory. 7th grade for 30 years, still playing with toys.
Flying in Florida right now.
Oh, God. Well, they're canceling.
No, TJ, I don't want to touch it.
I know.
Will that thing tow a banner?
Yeah, I think total ban.
No, your old banner.
The $10,000 one came.
All right, guys, this has been pretty fun.
Yeah.
It can go away now.
All right. Well, I do gotta bring up.
You
one
can't
more.
shut it off.
As far as becoming a certified UAV pilot too, they do put us through the FAA classes, which is a requirement to fly. So we have to learn everything within our COA, which is a certificate of authorization.
Okay.
And we cannot deviate from any of those
Yeah.
set standards.
Well, thank you. That was that took it to the next level.
Also, I want to thank you all for your time and commitment to the district. End of report.
Thank you, Chief. That was really cool. That definitely took it to the next level. All right. Out of class Deputy Chief Johnson. Try to beat that, my friend.
And
Good evening, President Gould, Board
Yes.
of Directors, Fire Chief House, members of Metro, public. Mike Johnson, Interim Deputy Chief Administration Branch. First off, President Gould, congratulations.
Thank you.
25 years, sounds cool. A quarter of a century, sounds real. So congratulations to you and thank you for your service to the community that you serve. First off, I too would like to welcome Angela Lewis to the administration branch, a much needed addition to the HR and the work comp realm. So we are super excited to have her. She's already made her mark in her first week and I'm excited to work with her for a long time. Community relations, they've been busy doing what they do, which is awesome work. This last Monday, they were teamed up with the City of Rancho Cordova, the Sacramento Children's Museum, Firefighters Burn Institute, Red Cross, UC Davis, and the Kiwanis Club for a night at the museum. that they hosted in honor of Fire Prevention Week, which I will not steal Deputy Fire Marshal's thunder. That's what she's going to talk about tonight. It's what we're currently in. They saw over 200 people come through. Great opportunity. It was all reports back was that it was a huge success. So thank you to them for doing that and being there. Inviting you all October 19th at 10 a.m. to open house of Fire Station 28 in Citrus Heights. We will be there. And let's see, on some good news here from recruitment and outreach. On September the 28th, our explorers participated in the first annual Northern California CFA Explorer Muster that was hosted up in El Dorado Hills, and they took first place. So out there doing good things in our name, and thank you to Fire Chief House and Chief Farika for being in attendance, as well as Chief Maurice Johnson for hosting it up in El Dorado Hills. So that is the end of my report. Sorry, no drones to share with you, but next time I'll try to bring something, maybe a kazoo for Bob or something.
Nicely
Any
done.
questions?
We'd also maybe like to see these young people who may not ever get invited back since we went up there and stole first place.
Yeah.
That'd be great. Thank you, Chief. Appreciate the report. Let's move on now to, I think we have support services. Chief Bailey.
Good evening, Board President Gould. 8 of those years of your 25, I served on the executive board of 522, and I can tell you the time we spent together, great conversations, the commitment, not only community, but to our members. Thank you. So Chief House and members of the public and colleagues, Ty Bailey, Deputy Chief of Support Services with the Support Services Branch report this evening. Station 42, there was a shed that was recently removed, which might not sound like a big deal, but I want to thank facilities and Amy Nygren and the members at 42. It was an eyesore, took a lot of work to get that thing removed. A lot of heavy equipment, and they got it done in a day. So it'll free up about 1 parking spot, which, as you know, Station 42 is a fairly small station. So facilities is also working on the generator services going into the winter months. Station 106, the transfer switch replacement is complete. They continue to work on station maintenance and upkeep throughout the late fall now, going into the winter, preparing for winter. Station 66, 25, and 27 had their asphalt repairs completed. I want to congratulate Alex Ibarra. Alex Ibarra from Communications, he applied for the communications supervisor, internal candidate, and he was selected. And he will be here at the next board meeting. He couldn't make it this evening because he had family obligations. However, we will introduce him to you. He's worked for the district for many years, and he's going to be a great asset for us. So thank you very much. And in the last bit of my report, I'm going to hand over to Amy Nygren, our Deputy Fire Marshal for CRD. She attended the City Council meeting at Citrus Heights, and she has some information she'd like to share with the board.
Good evening, President Gould, directors, Chief House, colleagues. Amy Nygren, Deputy Fire Marshal with the Community Risk Reduction report out. I would like to first strongly object to any fireworks out of a UAV.
So noted.
In addition, we did use the UAV this year for the fireworks enforcement. And so we're going to work out some tweaks and hopefully we'll be able to use that benefit next year. So it was great. I'm here to talk about Fire Prevention Week. Every year, this is celebrated around October 9th, and it is in recognition of the tragedy of the 1871 Great Chicago Fire. This fire tragically took the lives of over 250 people. It left over 100,000 people homeless. It destroyed more than 17,000 buildings and destroyed more than 2,000 acres. This year, the national campaign is Smoke Alarms, Make Them Work for You. This is to educate our public on the importance of having smoke alarms in your home. It's important to remember that smoke alarms need to be in every bedroom, outside each sleeping area, and on every floor of your home. In addition to test those smoke alarms every month. It's important to make sure that your family knows the sound of the alarms and what to do when they hear that alarm. And lastly, it's important to recognize that you need to change your smoke alarm every 10 years based on the manufacturer's date, not when you installed them, but by the manufacturer's date that's on the back. And so in recognition of Fire Prevention Week, last night I attended the Citrus Heights City Council meeting, and on behalf of Metro Fire, I accepted a proclamation recognizing October 6th through October 12th of this year as Fire Prevention Week. In addition, with Chief Law and Supervising Inspector Janae Smith in the Community Relations Division, they did all participate in the Night at Museum this year as well. And with that, end of report.
Yes.
End of report. Any questions?
Any questions? Thank you, ma'am.
Thank you.
Thank you, Chief. Appreciate that. Let's move on. Not quite. There we go, sir. Thank you very much.
Good evening, President Gould, board members, Chief House, Pete Votava, Captain Metro Fire, and Sec 522 Unit Director for a short time, longer. First off, 522 would like to congratulate President Gould on 25 years of service and your unwavering support and work with 522 on all of our needs and meetings and anything we ask of you. You're always there to meet with us, pro or for, whatever it is against, but you always give us the time, and we can't thank you enough on behalf of 522 and Metro Fire for 25 years of service, so thank you. I do want to thank Chief House for the support last Tuesday, a couple days ago at the line of duty death for West Sac Fire's engineer Timothy Hall. And I do want to point out that they left. The Squad 61, you did talk about, you mentioned cross borders and outside of Metro Fire. They did attend the memorial service, not as necessarily a drone, but because their level of competency in the drone program, they played an integral part between the helicopters and other drones in the area so that everybody could play nice in the sandbox. So they are doing more than just flying drones. So thank you to Station Squad 61 for that, and for our Chief House for supporting that and sending units out there. That was great. Thank you to all of our members. As you know, Measure O, we have 26 days to go. But thank you to all the members that are supporting this and putting forth the effort and getting this across the finish line. One last little push to go. We have a lot of political events and we're getting a lot of support and help from all of our members. So I just want to publicly thank all of our members for this support and helping push this across the finish line. And then finally, the memorial, Chief House touched on it this Saturday out at Capitol Park. This is our state memorial, and it's in our backyard. And I urge all of our board members, all of our members, any public to come out and attend this at 3 o'clock on Saturday. And again, we appreciate your support in sending units and personnel and your staff out there to support this day, especially on the heels of Colorado. That was my first time in Colorado. If you've never been to one of these memorial events, it is a moving event that you will remember for a very long time. So thank you, Chief, for that support. With that, that ends my report.
Any questions? Thank you, sir. Oh, there we go.
Idea guy.
Thank you, sir. Appreciate that. Let's move on now to committee and delegate reports. I have no report from the executive committee. Comm Center JPA, Chief Bailey, back up.
Good evening, board. Our board meeting was canceled Tuesday, so we could attend the funeral for engineer Tim Hall. Our next meeting is on October 22nd. End of report.
Okay, thank you very much. Appreciate that. Director Jones, you're up, Finance and Audit Committee.
Thank you, Director Gould. Finance and Audit Committee's next meeting is October 24th, 5:30 p.m. in these chambers.
Thank you. Director Costa, Policy Committee.
Thank you, Mr. President. So the policy committee met this evening. We had 2 items on the agenda. The first was an administrative policy, the district vehicle use policy. That was pulled for further edits and will be coming back to the committee in a future date. Another policy is a board policy on non-discrimination policy. So this was updated to include all protected classes and include language required by the Department of Homeland Security. The committee did move that forward, so we'll be coming to this board at a later date. Our next meeting is November 14th. End of report.
Okay, appreciate that. We'll now move on to board member questions and comments. Start to my right, Director Saylor.
Thank you, President Gould. Mr. 25 years. I love it. I just have one quick recognition I would like to get out to Engine 111 in my district. Captain Pete Voltava, Dan O'Malley, and Andrew Palmer. A great crew. They did a personal favor for me on Monday, and I just want to get a thank you out to them. That's all.
Thank you. Director Weber,
No comments. Thank you.
Director Sheets.
Make it quick. Just want to say thank you so much. The 8 years that I've been on the board, you have been a really wonderful, not only advocate for 522, but for the board itself and really helping me understand what my role is. So I really want to congratulate you. 25 years is incredible, especially it's a very, very difficult position sometimes, and really having that commitment is really humbling, and just honored to have been with you for 8 years.
Thank
you. That's all.
Gelman.
Yes, I want to congratulate you on your 25 years and thank you for the years of mentorship and leadership on this board.
Thank you. That's very kind of you. Director Wood.
Thank you, President Gould. Likewise, I would thank you for your service and your time and your, how freely you give yourself when we all have questions. So thank you.
Grant, we go way back and I was counting the years and it's like 41. And we worked in a private ambulance service together at Foothill. You were an EMT too. I was an
I was 11, by the way. Just trying to age me out.
I think I drove you at least once or twice, but what I wanted to say was your community commitment, your commitment to education, and your commitment to this organization and the men and women that work here. And I've been on all sides of it, labor, administrative, line operations. You have been a mentor for me. You taught me what real patient care is and how to treat people. And I get emotional as I gotten older. This really sucks. But in saying that, everything that we enjoy at Metro Fire in the last 20 years has passed through your hands, it's happened because of these elected officials, which you are one, a local that understands labor relations, and an administration that understands labor relations. It's a three-legged stool. But you bring something every single day and you have never, ever faltered. And it is the most important thing that any member of this department could have, and that is your attitude. I am in awe of you. And just to be a colleague and, you know, at times share emergency grounds. I'm honored, Grant, and you show up every day. And if anybody is out there, the one thing that you could learn from this man is attitude. It is the most important thing, and you've never failed in that. So thank you, my friend, and congratulations.
Appreciate that very much. Director Jones, your friend.
Yeah. You're younger than you, though. I want, Director Rice, thank you. Director Gould, congratulations on the 25. Super well said. I can't follow it anymore. Just to say that, pace yourself because we can do another 25.
That's right.
Pace yourself, young man. All right. And then a quick shout out to Engine 62's crew who participated in the local community event in my neighborhood for the BRECA annual picnic in the park. We're 20-something, not quite 25, but close to it. So a shout out to Battalion Chief Tom Koschelny and crew of Mike Rowan, Ryan Wolfer, and Alexander Pible. Thank you so much. This was fantastic. You talk about attitude. This was their second event of the day. In the morning, they had a Rosemont event with hundreds of people there. And so they were very, very active for the majority of the day, late afternoon at 4 o'clock they come out, and everyone in the park had a terrific time and they were generous. Again, back to an example from Director Gould. They were generous with their time and spirit and positive attitude. So thanks to everybody. End of report.
Thank you, Director Jones. Director Costa.
Director, congratulations on 25 years. Thank you. And thank you for your steadfast leadership. And I want to take a chance to thank the ad hoc committee for all their work on workers' comp and for everything that we're doing. It's been great to see. So thank you.
Thank you, Director Costa. All right, folks, I failed to do one thing. I failed to recognize the most important person in this 25-year celebration, and that is my bride. Not a chance I could be here without her support. I failed to do that. I apologize, Shelley, for that. With that, we're going to go to closed session, and you know what I say every week when we do this, go away. Spend time with your family. The people sitting right up here are the only two that I want to see when we come back out. They're my ride home. We stand adjourned. All right. Love that, Art. You do that to me every time. Appreciate y'all being back, and we're coming into open session again. There we go. Thank you, sir. Appreciate that. John, if you'll give us a report out of closed session.
Yes, thank you, Director Gould, and my congratulations as well on your 25 years.
Thank you so much.
So yes, the board met in closed session on the agenda item Watley in the Metro Fire District on a workers' compensation claim. The board voted unanimously to give authority to its attorney and third-party administrator.
9-1. Or
Oh,
8-1.
Voted 8-1, excuse me, my bad, to give authority to its attorney and workers' compensation third-party administrator to effectuate a settlement of that case. And that's it.
Thank you very much. Ladies and gentlemen, our next regularly scheduled meeting for this body will be October 24th, 2024 at 6 p.m. in these chambers. Any other questions or comments from my colleagues? Okay, this meeting stands adjourned.